Hello and welcome to another edition of UFO Video Addicts. Let me give you a quick preview of what I got coming up in this video. The first is this compilation video of several what looks like UFOs that are being worked on in hangars. And again, let me just say this, I'm not positive these are all credible or valid. Same thing with this video here, not yet declassified footage of a giant UFO taken by US Air Force. Even like this first one. Now some of them I believe are real, but some of them I also don't believe are real. Anyways, we'll take a look at that. Also have this little short clip here from Instagram of some strange object. It's hard for me to say that this is a ship based on its shape, but maybe there's something else going on there. And let's see. And then now this is another analysis of the MH370. I think, yeah, the MH370, the Malaysian Airlines that, disappeared. And there was footage that came out that showed these three orbs circling it. And then the plane and all the orbs disappear into a flash. But this guy here, he does a really good analysis of all this footage and brings up some pretty compelling points where he concludes that this is all real, valid footage, that this event really did happen. And I also found this video here that seems to relate to the video that was released, or all the videos that were released about the Malaysian airline flight. But this has to do with some recordings or voicemail that were left with some people. I get the impression that if this thing is a hoax, it may have been a hoax to try and dilute the credibility of these videos in some way. But anyways, we'll take a look at that. And then last is this article here from The Sun. This is about the UK Roswell, out of this world UFO case, dubbed UK's Roswell, blown open by new evidence as expert reveal how aliens could be behind this baffling mystery. But it's about a crash that took place in the UK, and how after the crash, the farmer, or Farmer Evan, he called the cops and the team of RAF men who came and combed the area. And he said it was obvious to him that something had crashed in the woods because the tops of the trees were all broken. But when he initially went out there to look around, he found that all the debris had been cleaned up by the Royal Air Force and people in plainclothes officers that were dubbed Men in Black. This is combed the land in nearby woods, taking away the fragments. But he figured that they didn't go into all areas, and he was able to find some pieces. And he sent those pieces away to have them analyzed, and it's some type of aluminum foam, which apparently is something that our military does have. But according to this article here, however, nobody had aluminum foam in 1983, so they might think they know what it is, but clearly it shouldn't have existed at this point. But anyways, this is an article, and then there's a video here about it. So I think we'll watch the video as opposed to reading the article. So you know what? If you appreciate the time and effort that I put into bringing this information to you, please give this video a like. Please share this video, and more importantly, please subscribe. Now let's check out this first video here. Yeah, check this out here. Again, like I said, I have no idea whether these videos are real or not, but links will be in the description. You can check them out, come to your own conclusions. Anyways, you know what? So I don't get hit with copyright violations, I'm going to jump ahead real quick. Yeah, here's another one. Yeah, look at these markings on here. I wonder if this is a design or a necessary aspect of this metal in order to make it an anti-gravity craft. Maybe like these are some circuits or something in the metal. And it's also going to show an opening in this thing. Yeah, look at this door. And you know, and I've heard that any of these crafts that have like rivets and bolts are most likely ours, and any of them that are smooth metal without any seams and things like that, it's theirs. Now, whether theirs could be the advanced beings that live on this planet, or from advanced civilizations that visit our planet. Yeah, now this one here, this one looks like it may be from a movie or something. You see, here's one here, supposedly of a helicopter carrying a UFO. Anyways, that's that. Here's one supposedly of something that's taking place around Area 51. Yeah, this one I'm kind of skeptical about. Same thing with this one here. Yeah, now this one's kind of interesting. Let me turn this music down. We don't need that. That's suspenseful music. Yeah, now watch, this thing is going to take off at a high rate of speed. Now, if this is at Area 51, it could be, something that we're working on. Could be like a reverse, that disappeared real quick. Reverse engineered. Let's see, here's another one of these videos of a UFO taken from a plane. Yeah, look at that thing.
I was having some cameramen film the installation of a precision landing facility they're putting in right on the edge of the dry lake. And this officer flew right over and put down 3 little gear and landed out on the dry lake bed. And they went out to pick up the camera.
Let me see, let me jump ahead here, see if there's any other, because that's just him. Oh yeah, this is Boyd Bushman showing some images of a UFO.
Looks into the power center of the UFO. Now, I asked them to tell me about who was flying these things. He therefore said, fine, they're approximately 5 feet, 4.5 to 5 feet tall.
Let me go back to that because I want to say something about this. A lot of people have said that this is a doll that was sold by some department stores, but I looked up. I think they're called UPC numbers. I think that's the right term. But from all these different department stores, and I found nothing. I could not find a single alien toy that resembled this. Oh yeah, and then here's also that meeting that supposedly took place between, I think this is a Chilean official. You know, the video when I first showed this, it was reversed. This guy was on this side and this dude was on this side. But this, yeah, this really looks authentic to me.
I was hired in December of 1988 to replace one of these men. These beings conveyed information about the capability of affecting the human brain to anesthetize the human body. This is done without any physical contact from a remote source. For this anesthesia to be accomplished, the brain has to be in a relaxed state similar to that required for hypnosis. If the brain is subject to any external stimulation like stimulant drugs or loud music, this manipulation of the nervous system is ineffective.
Yeah, so remember that, you know, if anyone is trying to be hypnotized by aliens, turn up the music because it supposedly doesn't work. But anyways, he goes on to say how our evolution was accelerated by one of these species in order to create man. Because, you know, remember, you know, when you look at this little diagram here, you know, we're brainwashed to believe that we evolved from these lower life forms, right? And moved up into finally becoming modern humans or Homo sapiens, but there is no correlation, right? All of these other species that they show you in this timeline of human evolution, all of those other humanoids, hominids, or whatever you want to call them, were separate, mutually exclusive species of humans, right? That, like, when you know, take a Homo sapien, you know, the reason why we're called Homo sapiens and these guys are called what, Homo erectus, Homo habilis, Georgicus, you know, all these other names, they all have their own scientific names because they were separate species from Homo sapiens, even like Neanderthals. You know, we have the Neanderthals, the Homo floresiensis, and what's the newest ones that were just, yeah, the Denisovans, right? Those are other humans that were found in the fossil record, but there's no relation to us. Now, there's no doubt that, or there's evidence to indicate that some Homo sapiens do have traces of Neanderthals, and some Homo sapiens have traces of Denisovans. But that just means that, you know, these two separate species were breeding, right? But there's no correlation or connection between these other species. And remember, right? Neanderthals went extinct. Denisovans went extinct. Homo floresiensis went extinct, right? All of these other hominid species went extinct, right? I mean, you know, if I were to draw a line between, let's say this species of human and this species of human, it doesn't mean that they're connected. It just means I drew a line between them. But, you know, anthropologists have brainwashed people into believing that if you draw a line between two separate species, then that means there's a connection when there isn't. So again, you know, the evidence would indicate that we were, you know, created, that our DNA was manipulated into becoming, you know, Homo sapiens. But, you know, but I also believe that some of us were brought here from another planet, you know, which is the reason why, you know, we have people on this planet who don't sunburn, right? Who are melanated and they don't sunburn. And we have other, you know, people who do sunburn. I believe that the races that sunburn, right, who don't have melanin, must have been brought here or arrived here, you know, maybe on their own, from a planet where their inhabitants, you know, were far enough away from their sun where they didn't need melanin. But yeah, but this idea that, you know, like white people evolved from black people is just, or Africans, you know, or the first African or the first man walked out of Africa. That just, it's so ridiculous, right? All the evidence indicates that some humans, you know, evolved here on Earth. But when I say evolved, I mean microevolution, you know, not macroevolution, right? The whole thing about like Darwin's idea of finches, right? Yeah, you can have different varieties of finches, right, based on the food source or the climate or, you know, whatever. But right, yeah. So let's say the beaks are gonna be different, but a finch is never going to quote unquote evolve into a seagull, right? Those are two separate species. In the same way, I don't believe, you know, something that was a primate evolved into a human. That's, you know, that's macroevolution. But now, you know, if you have a culture of humans who say, you know, spend a lot of time in the water, yes, you know, there are going to be microevolutionary changes or, you know, or adaptations that allow them to live or, yeah, survive in a, you know, in a water environment. I mean, I'm talking about some of these people that do all the hunting in the ocean, right? They can hold their breath longer. They can go, you know, deeper than your average person. But yeah, that's microevolution. But yeah, this notion that, you know, humans evolved from monkeys is, or a monkey-like being is just, it's ridiculous. Anyways, let's see. Let's go to this one here. Yeah, this video, I'm not 100% convinced this is real. But, you know, I don't know. I could be wrong. Yeah, to me, this looks like it's from some video game. Anyways, you got that one. You got this one here. Same thing with this one. This one looks more like CGI. Same thing with this one. Yeah, yeah, you know, I wasn't sure if I should include this, but it did have like this one here. I believe this is real. Watch when this thing finally comes into focus. It looks real to me. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I think this one is real. This one, there's no way. Doesn't look real to me. Yeah, come on. A giant ship putting down some of these Moai statues. This here, let me turn this down here a little. This is possibly real. Anyways, let me just jump ahead. This one, I don't think it's real. Yeah, another thing is, you know, I mean, this looks like it's happening right out in the open, and I mean, I would like to think that if this really happened, you know, there would have been more reports about it. Anyways, I think this is just going to replay some of these videos. Like I said, I don't think that they're all real. Anyways, this one here. Let me turn this down a little. Yeah, I believe this is being filmed from a plane based on that humming and that ringing that just happened. That sounds like you would hear that from a plane. Yeah, look at the strange shape of this. Unless this is like, I heard an explanation of how beings from different dimensions could be detected by beings from lower dimensions. Like, for instance, yeah, and let me just say this: I'm not 100% convinced yet of the idea of multiple dimensions or beings being able to go from one dimension to the other. But I did hear an interesting explanation of how a two-dimensional being seeing the shadow of a three-dimensional being, would most likely be confused, right? I wonder if that's the case here. I wonder if this is, let's say, some kind of craft from the fourth dimension, or another higher dimension, and is it possible that this is its shadow? And us in the third dimension, this is how we are viewing, quote unquote, the shadow, or something similar to a shadow of a higher dimensional craft. Well, I wonder what was used. I mean, if that's a phone, that's a pretty good zoom rate. I don't know if this was taken by a phone. Anyways, I think this just repeats itself. Let's see. Yeah, like I said, now on this video here, this is the analysis of the MH370 disappearance, where a satellite was able to capture these orbs surrounding the plane and before it disappears. But this guy here, like I said, he does a really good job analyzing these orbs and the movement of these orbs. Let me just play a little bit of this.
Perfectly matching the speed of the airplane. And again, they're moving in this perfect triangle formation. They're also just ignoring gravity entirely. We believe that what it takes to ignore gravity like this is room temperature superconductivity, which can be either obtained through metamaterials, such as LK99 or something similar to that, or by using some type of electromagnetic event, a pulse, an accelerated pulse vibration. Now, this is then essentially giving them zero mass, and when you have zero mass, you can ignore gravity entirely. That's why we think we see this field. If you read the scientific paper by Salvatore Pais that I put out there, he argues for this field existing due to them basically separating themselves from the empty vacuum state, which is thought of as, space-time as we know it. So some people may think that room temperature superconductivity is debunked. Well, it looks like we had it 9 years ago, at least the military did, so I think maybe we should give that one a second shot. Now again, these lines are coming in front of it, so they are creating their own geodesics. Kim and I were looking at the video of gravity and how gravity really works. I would suggest you guys take a look at how gravity works in general, because I think it's not exactly the way that people get taught in school. Gravity is the interaction between mass over space-time, and what's happening is as time flows, objects are converging towards the curvature of mass disrupting space-time. That's important because it looks like what's happening here is they're creating their own geodesics, their own gravity. They're almost like train tracks that they're running along here. So when we were watching this here, if somebody was faking this video as well, they would keep the plane in focus in the field of view all the time. But what we see here is the person who's operating this drone manually zooms in, and now the plane gets out of field of view. If you were faking this is not how you'd fake it. You'd fake it while the plane is in the field of view the entire time. This is because someone's actually trying to keep up with the plane, and they've zoomed in, and if you were like zoom in with your camera while you're watching something, it's hard to keep it in the field of focus. Now they've zoomed in a ton here as well, because what's going to happen is when this plane comes in, now we can see it very clearly. We can see this heat signature. This heat signature is in the same.
Let me just stop this right here. Anyways, this guy gives a, very, what seems to me, like, I admit most of this stuff is going over my head, but he seems to be providing, what I believe to be reasonable explanation of everything that's happening. And, all the people that he talks about who have analyzed this have come to the conclusion that this is a real event, that this thing really did happen. And they also believe that they somehow knew that this was going to happen, which is why, let's see, he talks about the drone. Where is that? Oh, yeah, here, like in this footage here, this is a part of the drone. And he also, I think he talks about, they even have a photo of what the drone looked like. But like, yeah, on this part, this is some kind of satellite that's able to take two different views. So you can have a three-dimensional capture of this thing. Yeah, like I said, he talks about the drone that this was most likely taken with. But anyways, it's a great analysis. Of course, I don't want to get hit with copyright violations by anonymous. Yeah. Anyways, so the link will be in the description. Definitely check this out. And same thing with this video here. This is supposedly connected to, the release of this video, because some of these people were getting these voicemails. Let me play some of this.
Victor, Alpha, Charlie, Uniform, Alpha, Tango, Echo, Bravo, Echo, Charlie, Alpha, Uniform, Tango, India, Oscar, Uniform, Sierra, Tango, Hotel.
Right, so you hear that, and
To spell out a message when talking over the radio.
yeah, here, check out his explanation.
What is being said. Basically, taking the first letter of each word should spell out a message, and Tyler figured this out. It literally translates to danger, SOS. It is dire for you to evacuate. Be cautious. They are not human. SOS, danger, SOS, and then gives coordinates. I am throwing my phone away. A user then asks, wait, what are the coordinates? Some place on the coast of Indonesia, I don't even know. Later on, Tyler receives a message from a user with a seemingly random name and in a different language. When translated, the message turns into, end the post you just shared about the recording on your phone. Tyler then posted, okay, I'm sitting in my car right in front of my house, in my car, and this guy started taking pictures of my house with flash. Then he walked away. Literally, what the fuck? It's 3 a.m. I am going to die tonight. Also, I should probably include that this happened a few days ago before I got that voicemail. I really am about to go into hiding. Soon after, a user named Uzumaki came up with a pretty interesting theory. This is what it says. Pay close attention that there's an S right before danger, meaning that the recording is on a continuous loop. It's not a message set to play once it goes to voicemail.
And I don't know what the heck that means, but another message that they got was something that I can't remember where it's at, but it was obviously something that was
You are not ready to
played a backward recording. Maybe this is it.
Same thing when my boyfriend called me, and he couldn't hear it, but I could. The message in Kai's voicemail translates to not human, followed by a number, and then SOS.
Oh, you know what? I don't remember where it was, but they did get this a recording that was, again, when you listen to it, it's pretty obvious that it was backward audio. So the guy was able to, play it forward, and it ended up being one of the pilots, one of the MH370 pilots talking. But like I said, I'm not 100% convinced that these are like something that just was organic. To me, it seems like this is some kind of a coordinated effort in order to diminish the credibility of these videos. But I'm not 100% positive on that. Again, it's a 13-minute video. I can't play the whole thing. But of course, the link will be in the description. Definitely check it out. It is very interesting. Anyways, let's go to this last video here. This is about this, the UK Roswell. I'm going to just play a part of this video here.
Possibly alien technology that's been back engineered. Alien in the sense that it's not something that any of us are aware of. We're not kicking the door of disclosure open, but we're certainly scratching at it. We're saying, hang on a minute, we've got physical evidence. This is not blinking lights and strange eyewitnesses and hypnosis or whatever. This is solid. It happened back in January 1983. Something hit trees during the night near a village called Llanilla, which is just outside Aberystwyth in mid Wales. Nobody saw it, nobody heard it. A farmer got up the next day called Irwell, and he went out to have a look at his sheep, and they found debris scattered across 4 fields, and the nearby copse, the nearby woods, had the top of the trees sheared off. So it was obvious something had hit it and scattered debris. The thing that really shocked me...
Well, yeah, I don't want to, again, I just realized, yeah, this is from The Sun, and I played too much of it. They'll hit this video with a copyright violation. But, he goes on to explain how when this farmer contacted the police and a team of Royal Air Force men, that they came out, picked up much of the debris, but he was able to figure it out that, maybe they didn't hit it all. So let's see. I can't find that spot where he talks about how he figured that they, oh yeah, here we go. So by the time Gary had got out there, there didn't seem to be anything there, but being a bright chap, he thought, I bet you they haven't managed to clear the woods. So he went and had a look in the woods, and sure enough, he got 6 pieces of metal and 2 pieces of a substance looking like foil. Now, according to this guy here, again, that he talks about in this video, how the foil resembled the foil or some of the material that was recovered from Roswell. And, there's a lot of other things that happened too, which would indicate that they were obviously trying to cover up this whole incident. So, I definitely believe something strange happened there, that there must have been some type of crash, because the government doesn't, engage in all of these the things that they did if it was nothing. But yeah, check out, the link will be in the description. Definitely check this out. Thank you very much for making it till the end. And as I said before, if you appreciate the time and effort that I put into bringing this information to you, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share this video, and more importantly, please subscribe. I'll have more things like this. Take care.